Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. This top four race is absolutely incredible. What are the chances that Liverpool, after 7 straight Premier League wins, are going to snatch a top four position from Manchester United or Liverpool? Well, look, I still think it's obviously in Manchester United and Newcastle's hands, but it's a little bit like asking your dream girl to marry you, or dream boy. Have we covered everything there? Dream girl or boy to marry you. They say yes, you have an engagement party, you set a date. But if they don't walk up the aisle on wedding day, you're not married. And I think that's a little bit like Manchester United and Newcastle right now. They're engaged, they've set the date, they've bought the presents, they've got the dress or the suit. But will the dream turn up on the wedding day? It's also a little bit like VAR, isn't it? When you score a goal and then you're like, was it offside? It's marginal. There's a decision still to be made. It's going the way of Manchester United and Newcastle, but Liverpool are charging up on the outside. And I think as a Newcastle or a Man United fan, and as a Man United fan, I'm expecting Liverpool to win their last two, which if you look at that league table, it gives them 72 points. Meaning 71 points, meaning, and they've got a very good goal difference. I mean, Man United are out of it when it comes to goal difference. What's the Newcastle situation with goal difference actually? What is it? Plus 32 against plus 20. I mean, it's close. Newcastle probably could get. How are Newcastle going to get 71 points anyway? They'd have to win 1 and draw 2. Then they might beat Liverpool on goal difference, but ultimately, Man United and Newcastle win 2 of your last 3. Liverpool can't catch you. They can win the next 3 games 3-0, 9-0. It doesn't matter. So, look, I think you've got to assume Liverpool will beat Aston Villa and beat Southampton in their last 2 games, which leaves Man United against Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, and Fulham at home. I would fancy Man United at home. Our home form has been brilliant. We've hardly conceded any goals. It's not always pretty, but we tend to get the win. So I'd fancy Fulham and Chelsea wins. I'm not disrespecting those teams, but I'd fancy it. And realistically, Bournemouth, they've got the old sun cream on. You know, they've got the Speedos on. You know, they've got a pina colada in the hand. And we should be going down there and beating them as well. So look, never say never with Man United, but we should do it. So I think, I still think Man United will do it. And if we don't do it, you talk about yesterday whether Arsenal bottled it or not. From that position, Man United would be bottling it. You're in a position of strength. Newcastle, again, 3 games to go, 6 points needed. Potentially a win and 2 draws might do it on goal difference, but you wouldn't want that. With Liverpool playing Southampton, they could go and win like 9-0 or something like that. So I think Newcastle need 2 wins. Look, Brighton at St James's Park on Thursday. We're doing a watch along for that. Ridiculously difficult. If they win that game, I think that's one of Newcastle's best performances of the season. I think that's really difficult. Leicester at home, 3 points, which means it comes down to Chelsea away. Chelsea away, Brighton at home. Newcastle have got to win one of those games. Imagine if they win 1 and draw 1, that's 70 points. Liverpool could get 71. So they've got to win 2 of their last 3. I personally think Newcastle deserve top 4 probably more than anybody. From the football they've played and the underdog they are, I think Newcastle deserve it more than Man United and Liverpool. And as a United fan, I would admit that, because Man United's Man United and Liverpool, I think many people thought they might challenge for the title. So you look at Newcastle's form this season, their squad. Yeah, they're multi-rich, but their squad's not there yet. So I think Newcastle probably deserve it more. But I think they're the most vulnerable. Now, they're going to be famous last words because it will be bloody United who bottle it, probably. But, I'm hoping not. But I worry about Newcastle against Brighton on Thursday. The way Brighton are playing, I think they're arguably the best team in the league at the moment. Newcastle have got to turn up in that game and use that home advantage. They're very good at home. I think they need to... If they beat Brighton on Thursday, they'll get top 4. It's a cup final for Newcastle and they'll treat it like that. If they can beat Brighton at Newcastle on Thursday, they'll beat Leicester. They've got the 6 points. It's done, and they don't need to worry about Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, which will be very difficult. If Newcastle don't beat Brighton on Thursday, it's going to come down to Stamford Bridge on the last day, and who knows what can happen in a game like that. So I feel Newcastle are more vulnerable than Man United. Obviously, Liverpool could drop points against Villa at the weekend. They could do. But if you're assuming they won't, 7 wins in a row is unbelievable. And if Liverpool win 9 games in a row, which they'll have done at the end of the season, they probably deserve top 4 in a way, but it's still there for Newcastle and Man United to hold on to. I look at Newcastle, I think if they beat Leeds at the weekend, that extra 2 points, they're basically there. But that, dropping that late equaliser in a difficult game, I think Newcastle, it's all about Thursday. That's why I'm doing a watch along. It's all about Thursday. It's such a big game. And I think for United, man, you never know what you're going to get with United. I mean, we've lost to West Ham away from home. We're capable of losing to Bournemouth, but beat Bournemouth. The next 2 games are massive, and Liverpool fans will know it. If Newcastle beat Brighton and Man United beat Bournemouth, you've got 2 bites of the cherry to get the final 3 points. If either of us drop points in the next games against Bournemouth and Brighton, then Liverpool have the momentum, and the pressure starts to pay. The interesting thing for me is, and put yourself in this position, get your comments in below on who you think is going to get it based on the results, because I think some people look at the league table. Like, a lot of people are saying Spurs won't get top 6 or 7, but Spurs have got the best 2 games. Spurs have got they've definitely got Leeds away, and I think they might have, I can't remember, they've got somebody at home, that Brentford or something like that. So you'd expect them to, they've got a far better run-in than Brighton and Villa, let's put it that way. Villa have got to play Liverpool and Brighton. So you've got to look at the fixtures, not necessarily the points. And I think people look at the table and they go, oh, it'll be Man United and Newcastle. But as I just said, if Liverpool win their last 2, 71 points, Newcastle's run-in is difficult. Man United could make it difficult. So get your comments in below. The interesting thing will be, who do you think deserve tops 4? And what do you think it means if Liverpool get top 4 and Man United get top 4 and Newcastle are in Thursday night football? What does that mean for Newcastle's development? Because I think there's a huge difference between Newcastle in the Champions League and Newcastle playing Thursday night football. They're very rich, but you're not going to get if Newcastle are in the Champions League, they can potentially go to a really top player and say, look, I know it's Newcastle, but we've got the money and we've got the Champions League. It's different if you go, we've got the money, but we're in the Europa League. It's massive for Liverpool, because Liverpool aren't going to spend the season out the best European competition for the first time in years. So it's huge. It's absolutely huge. And you've got to give, begrudgingly, I admit, but from my point of view as a United fan, and I'm sure Newcastle fans feel the same, you've got to give Liverpool credit. 7 wins in a row, nobody saw that coming. And to be honest, I think Liverpool fans will look at it and go, why have we left it so late? Because it is a little bit like a race where you're nearly out of petrol and they've got a full tank and fresh tyres, and you're looking at it and you're going, who's going to get over the line? Is it going to be Man United and Newcastle ahead of Liverpool? Just, yes. But if there was another lap, Liverpool would go through. So, I mean, if Liverpool don't do it, remarkable run, but why have they left it so late? Liverpool, on this form, should be in the top 4, but they've left it so late. It's going to be really interesting. I think the relegation battle is interesting, of course, but I think the top 4 race, because of Liverpool's late run, has become remarkably interesting. I'm still going to go Man United get top 4. I'm still going to go Newcastle based on the season they've had. But I think Thursday night, Brighton at Newcastle is massive. And if Brighton win, which they're more than capable of doing, we've seen them steamroll Arsenal, so why can't they go to Newcastle and do it? If that happens, Newcastle have got to pull out something at Stamford Bridge, and you should do that. But Chelsea are just they're so hard to read. Chelsea, they are so hard. You last game of the season, preparing for next season, maybe they put in a result, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Get your comments in below. What an incredible season we've had. I wish the title had gone like this. It's not, but the top 4 race, the relegation battle, massively interesting. Who's getting top 4? Get your comments in below.